Hi everybody, this is Millie. Welcome to Millie's Meal Planning on a Budget. Usually for Christmas or New Year's, I usually prepare either a ham or a prime rib. But in Puerto Rico, they usually make something called pernil. And pernil is a pork shoulder. So here I have a 5-pounder. And everybody prepares it differently. So today I'm going to give it my own twist. One thing that it always has is a lot of garlic. So this is a 5-pounder. So here I have 5 cloves of garlic. And to this I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of white vinegar. And I'm going to add extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of onion salt, some adobo, just a little bit of oregano, add some salt, a little bit of cumin, a little bit of cayenne pepper, not too much. I'm going to add a little bit of this garlic and rosemary. The garlic and the rosemary works really well with the pork. A little bit of black pepper. And on the pork, I made some holes with a knife, so all those ingredients can get into the meat. So I'm going to mix this together. And then I'm going to marinate the pork shoulder. Make sure that it gets in those holes that I made with the knife. And this is the pan that I use to put the pork shoulder in. So I'm going to put some of the spices on the bottom of the pan. And then I'm going to grab the pork shoulder and put it in this pan. Okay. I'm going to make sure that the pork shoulder is rubbed with all the spices, with the olive oil and the rosemary. And I don't want my hands to smell like garlic because there is a lot of garlic in this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all this on top of the pork shoulder. And then I'm going to cover it with a plastic. And I'm going to keep it in the refrigerator overnight because I want the meat to grab all those flavors. And actually this smells amazing. So I'm going to cover it with a plastic and okay, let me cover it one more time. Make sure that it's totally covered. Okay. I'm going to let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow I'll put it in the oven. Okay, so the pernil, which is the pork shoulder, has been marinating all night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the plastic. And now here I have half a cup, half of it is spice cider. So I got this spice cider, and the other half is water. So the spice cider is kind of sweet, and I don't want it to be too sweet, but apple and pork goes really well together. And with all these spices, everything is going to be marinating very nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the mix of the water and the spice cider. And then I'm going to also sprinkle a little bit more of this pepper. So I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more pepper. And like I said, you know, this is something that they cook in Puerto Rico, and is very flavorful. And I want to make sure that it has some of the flavors. And this here is rosemary. Rosemary goes really well with pork. So I'm adding and sprinkling a little bit more rosemary. And now I'm going to cover it with aluminum foil. Make sure that I cover it really well. And I'm going to put it in the oven. In about 2 hours, I'm going to check it because I want to make sure that the bottom has not dried out and that it has not burned. So we'll come back and show you how it looks like. Okay, so one thing that I like to serve with the pork shoulder, which is the pernil, is a cilantro sauce. So here I have a bunch of cilantro, and now I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic. So I'm gonna mince the garlic. And then I like to put a little bit of red pepper flakes. I could do this in the food processor, but I don't want it too saucy. I want a little bit of chunks in this. So I'm just chopping the cilantro and mixing it with the garlic. But if you do want it smoother, you could just do this in the food processor and just pulse it. But I just like the rough chop here. And if you don't like cilantro, you could do parsley. But I love cilantro, especially cilantro and garlic. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of vinegar in this bowl. So this is about a 1/4 cup of vinegar. And then I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. And then I'm going to add a little bit of red pepper flakes, a little bit of onion salt, a little bit of paprika. This is smoked paprika. A little bit of dry oregano. And then I'm going to grind some pepper. I'm going to grind some peppercorn in here. And now I'm going to add some sea salt. And then I'll mix in the cilantro and the garlic. And this is beginning to smell amazing. So the cilantro and the garlic. So now I'm going to mix it. And I'm going to let this sit for a bit until the meat is done. Let's see. Maybe a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more salt. Now I'll let it sit so it could grab all those flavors. Okay. Okay. So there is the cilantro sauce. So in Argentina, this is called a chimichurri, which goes with any kind of steak or any kind of meat. So I'm going to put that aside. Okay, so here is the pernil, which is the pork shoulder, and it has been cooking for about 5 hours. After 2 hours, I checked it to make sure that the bottom wasn't dry and that it was not burning. And then I noticed that it was releasing a lot of fat, so I removed some of that fat. And then I covered it again and cooked it for another 2 hours. First, I basted. And then I left it uncovered. I cooked it for another hour. And this is how it looks like. So let's see. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. And it looked like the pork looks amazing. You see, you could shred it with a fork if you want to. You see how nice and smooth and nicely cooked the pork is? So this is something that is great for sandwiches. And in Puerto Rico, they serve it with rice, they serve it with potato salad, and it's traditionally made during the holidays, but actually this is something that they make for whatever occasion, even for Thanksgiving. So, and if you don't like turkey, this is a perfect thing to make. And as you can see, it's very easy to make because you just put all the spices the night before, then you put it in the oven. The next day, you let it cook. So let me serve it. Okay, so instead of serving the pernil with rice or potato salad, I decided to make carrots and potatoes. What I did with the carrots and the potatoes was I peeled both the potatoes and the carrots, then I sliced them, and then I cooked them in salted water. Once they were cooked, I removed them from the salted water, and then I put them in a dish like this. So once I put them in that dish, I sprinkle olive oil, about a tablespoon of olive oil. Then I put some black pepper, salt, some oregano, and then I sliced half a red onion and mixed it in and put it in the oven. I put it in with the pernil for that last hour and have the potatoes get a little bit crispier. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of this green sauce, which is the cilantro sauce that I made. And with this, in Puerto Rico, they love to drink rum. So I put 1 shot of rum. And then here I have some guava. So they sell this in small cans. And then I'll squeeze a little bit of lemon. So, salute. The rum and the guava is a little sweet. This is amazing. Okay, so let's taste the pernil. So as you can see, the pernil is fork tender. See? And you could just make sandwiches with this. Let's see. I like the potato and the meat. Puerto Rican pernil. This tastes amazing. You know, the cilantro sauce, the potatoes, and you could feed a lot of people with this. And if you don't like turkey, you could substitute it. You could just make this pernil for Thanksgiving if you don't care to make a turkey. This is really good. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you have a safe and wonderful holiday season. Salute.